Hello, BR Nation. Welcome to another college basketball live show. We are into week 2 of college hoops. We're into like week 22 of this very program. That's right. We do this year round. We love this sport, but it's the best time of year. Now the games are here. Today we're going to be talking top 10 freshmen as we are 10 days into the season. I think things have changed from the last time we had a conversation about the very best newcomers in this sport. Carter, how are you today? You look just ready to talk freshmen.
I am ready to talk freshmen because honestly, I'm sick of hearing the noise about why are you only just talking about freshmen, freshman this, freshman that, talk about the older guys. I'm sorry that this freshman class is incredible. We could do the list of top 70 and guy number 65 would be a good hooper. It's a nasty freshman year in college basketball.
And at number 10 on my list of the top 10 freshmen is Carter Elliott. You're very fresh.
I do, make sure I keep high hygiene tactics at all times.
Yeah, of course. Okay. All right. I'm sorry for that one, folks. That was just absolutely terrible. Let's get right to this list because I honestly am nervous to unveil the first name on our list in reverse order. The 10th best freshman in college basketball. Cut the cord, rip it out. It's Darren Peterson. The
Huh?
10th best freshman in college basketball through 1 week of the season has been Darren Peterson. Kobe Bryant 2.0, mixed with Devin Booker, mixed with Carmelo Anthony, mixed with, I don't even know, pick your guy, Anthony Edwards comps. I get it. This is the projected number 1 pick in the NBA draft. He's a sensational talent. He's 10th on this list because he isn't playing. He has not made it through full games. He's struggled with cramps. He scratched himself an hour before Kansas's game last night, and then his head coach and teammates went to the podium and said they didn't know he was going to sit, and they're frustrated. Carter, is Darren Peterson at 10 a worthy spot for what he has performed through 1 week of the season?
This isn't fun to do while highlights play in the background, and then we're over here calling that guy that I'm watching do what he's just doing, being the 10th best freshman in the sport. But look, there's a baseline to end up on this list. Like I said, there's some great college freshmen that are playing right now. And the thing about Darren Peterson, as much as I'm a Darren Peterson guy, Greg, what do we love most about basketball players? What do we love them to do?
I'm a big fan of basketball players playing basketball.
Darren Peterson has played one full game so far in his time in Lawrence.
In
It's
four
just
opportunities. Four opportunities.
he's 1 for 4 in playing in big games. He's 1 for 4 in playing in full games at his time in Lawrence, and the one that he did play a full game, another freshman looked like the best freshman on the court.
And he sat the end of the game because he was dealing with the cramps that
Like,
were
come on,
aforementioned.
listen,
Listen,
he's
trust
that
me,
guy. Come on.
this isn't fun for us, right? And clearly, I think you can tell where this list is headed. This is not a list of our 10 most likely number 1 picks. This is not a list of our 10, most talented freshmen. This is based on performance. And if you had done this after Kansas's debut, he might have been number 1 on the list. But he has to figure out the hamstring. If he doesn't figure out the hamstring, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, he's going to kind of fall off the radar and hurt his draft stock. And number 2, Kansas's season is going to fall apart. They cannot survive without Darren Peterson in a way that many other teams in the country might be able to survive without their studly freshman. Let's move up 1 spot on the list to a star point guard that I know you love and always have been a big fan of. It is Darius Acuff, Arkansas Razorbacks own. Now, we had to pluck him out of Jeremy Fears' pocket to get him on this list, but outside of that, Acuff's been sensational.
Yeah, he's so talented. And the thing is, like, he was the afterthought of the guard in this, or the guards in this class. Like, right before you got to Darius Acuff, you talked about guys like Michael Brown. You talked about even the guy we just talked about, Darren Peterson. But Darius Acuff is everything that Coach Cal wants in a guard. He's fast, he's strong. I think he's showing better passing chops than he gets credit for. He kind of got labeled as a guy who chucks a little bit. I really don't think he has that. He has a low turnover rate. He passes well. He's quick. He's also built like a defensive back. So it's like he is built to be a very productive, really good Coach Cal guard. And he's going to have a great year for Arkansas. And he has had a great one thus far outside of a off shooting night against Michigan State. But that's going to happen against Michigan State.
Yeah, I liked his approach against Michigan State. I got to be honest. He was aggressive. He didn't force things. He still got Malik Thomas involved. Thomas couldn't hit a shot. Thomas was another guy that we considered putting on this list. Ultimately, I just think Acuff is going to emerge as Arkansas's heartbeat this season offensively. He's too much of a dog. He's too much of a competitor. He can score. He can finish at the rim. He can guard. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he's been there, right? It doesn't feel right objectively putting Darius Acuff above Darren Peterson. We could probably repeat that sentence for at least the next 6 or 7 players on this list. But for now, he's had a better start to the season. Despite Arkansas losing a game to Michigan State, he has done everything he can do to put Arkansas in a spot to win games. You cannot say the same about Darren Peterson. Let's go to the chat and see what they think of our first 2 names on the list. Young Dalt says Acuff is too low.
You know what? I think the Michigan State game, unfortunately, put him a little bit lower on this list. He really hasn't done much against, he's done a lot against lower level competition, I would say. And I'm not saying that he's not going to do it against higher level competition as it goes through on the season. He's for sure a candidate that's going to rise as this season goes on. But you can't throw away the fact that he went on the road to Michigan State and, he really didn't play all that well, I guess, shooting the basketball, but he's still so talented.
Yeah, if this was the stock market, I would pretend I know how it works, say a couple buzzwords, and then keep it moving without ever touching it. But if I knew how the stock market works, I would buy low on Darius Acuff here.
I think that works.
That feels fair. Okay, more chat. Dev Jam says, agreed on Peterson. He's nice, but it's weird energy in Lawrence.
I'm not liking it. I'm really not liking it. Truly, like this seems to happen year after year the past couple of years with Bill Self teams. He wants to pick on people. He wants to throw players under the bus. I wouldn't want to throw the number one NBA draft pick under the bus, just saying, after you called him the best freshman to ever touch Lawrence not a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, in the summer when Bill Self was saying this is the best player I've ever coached, my reaction was, what could go wrong? You're putting some pretty massive expectations on this kid. Now, with that said, I don't want to blame Bill Self for this because this is different. This is not Kevin McCullough shutting it down in February and Bill Self being upset. This is not Hunter Dickinson playing 2 full seasons and fans not liking him and Bill Self throwing him under the bus. This is a player 2 games into his career saying, Coach, I can't go. 20 minutes before a game. That's not Bill Self's fault, objectively. And they're going to have to go through this. One more. Pause for Life says Kingston Flemings is running the court. He's LJ Cryer for Houston. Top tier for sure, probably top 3 at best. Kingston Flemings is LJ Cryer?
I think that's selling him short a little bit for what Kingston Fleming can do, to be honest with you. And he was in consideration for this list, but once again, I think we need to see Houston play a little bit better as a team. They've been a little bit sleepwalky-ish to me early on in the season, but Fleming has been impressive.
Flemings won't be on this list. Chris Snack will not be on this list. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I think Houston's been very good. The freshmen are coming along. They're just so vetty around them that it's hard for some of these freshmen to star in a way you're seeing with other teams. I actually surprised. One more chat here. JJ Malm says, where's big Heinz Steinbach going to fall? JJ Malm, that's a fantastic segue because 8th on our list is the aforementioned Hans Steinbach. This kid rocks. If you have not watched him, if you're not paying attention to Washington basketball, please do yourself a favor and do it. Steinbach was the best player at the FIBA World Cup event this summer, and yeah, Team USA was at the event. Steinbach was more prolific. What he did for Team Germany alongside Christian Anderson, alongside Eric Ryby, UConn's backup center, I mean, Christian Anderson's one of the best players in college basketball. Steinbach was better on the same team with him. He was more productive. And it's backed up. The early impressions of this kid at Washington have just been dominant. He's a walking double-double. He sleeps his way to 13 rebounds a game, but it's the passing that blows me away. 3.5 assists on a team where J.J. Mandequit's a ball-dominant point guard that's really sharing that thing too. Steinbach is the real deal. He's an NBA player that's playing in Washington right now, and I hope people enjoy him as much as I do.
Yeah, it's fun times in Washington basketball, and it really hasn't been the funnest over the past couple of years, but Steinbach is an absolute monster. I mean, he's a true freshman. Like I said, this isn't one of those classic, the older freshmen come over from overseas. He's extremely dominant on the glass. To your point, the passing is very impressive to him as well. He probably ends up higher on this list with a special performance against Baylor and a win, I would think. But even in that loss to Baylor, I thought he was really good in that game. 10 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. Didn't have the assist like you talked about, but he's gonna get better and better throughout the year, and he's already awesome right now.
Yeah, I don't think anything in the Baylor game was necessarily his fault. Baylor basically packed the paint. And one thing I would point out to watch for with Washington is that they may not have the spacing needed for Steinbach to look as good as he can look. I mean, they're trying to run things through him, don't get me wrong, but they're surrounding him with at all times three minimum non-shooters, sometimes four. And they still haven't even worked Des Claude back into the lineup, and Des is not going to help that. So keep an eye on it. All I'm saying, don't be surprised if Steinbach ends up looking a lot better in the NBA than he looks in college. And even right now, he's good enough to be eighth on our best freshman list in a loaded class. It's pretty damn impressive. Let's move up the list one spot here to number 7, Cart. And I got to be honest, you and I have covered these freshmen for a long time. We have never been the biggest fans of this player, but we've got to give credit where credit is due sometimes. And that's why Nate Ament is 7th on this list. What have you seen from Ament in week 1?
Yeah, so the thing about Nate Ament is that when his game is like off a little bit, you're like, oh, these are such tough shots. I don't know about this shot selection. I don't know about this, that, and the third. But here's the thing why Nate Ament is ranked where he's at, and also why Nate Ament was ranked where he was at coming out. It's a lot of potential, man. There's not guys his size that can do things like you're seeing in this film right here. He's fluid, he's tall, he's lanky, he can handle the ball, he can make those tough shots. If he gets comfortable throughout the year and, Barnes puts him and features him like he wants to feature him. I mean, he was like, I coached Durant. I can make Ament that type of player. You're going to have a player that's going to be able to pour in a lot of points, be efficient from the field and three, rebound the basketball, 3 turnovers a game to 3 assists, 1-to-1, not terrible. But like Nate Ament is a guy that has all the potential in the world to where we could get to the end of this list at the end of the year and he could be one.
Yeah, you can see the vision, right? It's not all that different from me looking at you and being like, I could turn him into Taylor Lewan if I put a microphone in front of him. And yeah, like it's kind of there.
Yeah, you and Will Compton have the same hairline.
Before or after he shaved it? Don't answer that.
After.
Okay. Ament he's tantalizing, man. The highlight stuff from him is really one of one in this class, other than AJ Dybantsa. Like, really, those two are the only ones that can really score off the dribble the way that he does. The one thing I would point out, despite how productive and efficient he's been, Tennessee doesn't look as good as we hoped they would be.
Yeah.
And I do think there might be a little correlation of like Ament's getting his numbers to Tennessee's not exactly winning games. I'm monitoring it. The numbers are so good, he's got to be 7th on the list, even though we're not historically Ament guys, but it's certainly something to pay attention to going forward. Let's go back to the chat. Max says, what's your take on Cam Ward? Good question for you. That's your guy, Cart.
Yeah, listen, if these freshmen on this list don't work hard enough, Cam Ward could take their spot.
It all comes down to working hard, huh? That's his thing.
If you don't work hard enough, then Wolf Spartan Dog gonna eat.
Yeah. No, we actually had a requirement where you have to make at least 1 3-pointer to be on this list. So you'll see no Michigan State players on this list, sadly.
I'm gonna find somebody on this list who ain't made one.
I don't think you're going to. Daka Bramson says Jamarion Bateman could make this list by the end of the year.
This is a tough list to crack, man. I don't think people get it. Like, we got Darren Peterson at 10 on this list.
Yeah, say that again.
We have Darren Peterson as 10 on this list. That's how good these freshmen are.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's real. I mean, that there are studly freshmen starring at almost every single team in America right now. As fun as Bateman is, I don't know that he really has a chance of cracking this seriously at a national level. Braxton Dunn says no Tunde. You were throwing around Tunde Yesifu's name when we were discussing this last night. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah.
Hands up. Listen, I don't want to. I think there's 6 left on this list, and I think we need to get to it before I say anything where I could maybe, I don't know, indict myself ill-timed.
So you plead the 5th, is what you're saying?
Don't put words in my mouth, please.
That's crazy. You've changed so much. Old you used to drink the 5th. Now you plead the 5th. Up to number 6 on the list is our guy. Neo, the Matrix, Neoclis Avdalis. He's amazing. Get ready to see some Luka Doncic-y like film. Roll the tape, Bleacher Report. I've always wanted to do that. You got to admit, that was kind of nice, Cart.
I'm sick. I didn't get to do it, but that was dog. Neo is like you said, Luca. That is the type of game you see from him, and I think too when you're looking at freshmen on this list, he's the one that I think is going to benefit the most from the fact that respect to Chester Frazier and Mike Young in the Virginia Tech program, this team needs Neo to beat Luca. And that's what he's been so far. He can pass the ball, he can rebound, he can push it, he can shoot over 42% from three, 44% from the field. That game against Providence, he had 17 before I could even blink my eye. He is nasty, truly nasty. Honestly, he probably could have been higher on our list.
Yeah, I think if it's really solely based off of 2 game sample sizes, he probably should be. Although, I don't know. I get that we dropped Darren deservingly, I think, with his inability to stay on the court. It didn't feel right. A few of the names that are going to appear ahead of him on this list, it just didn't feel right to put Neo ahead of him. I love this kid, though. It's really fun. Now, I did the Luka Doncic thing because I feel like all Caucasian podcast hosts are contractually obligated to call every European guard with size Luka Doncic. That's how this works. If you want a more honest comparison for me, his start to the season reminds me a lot of Kasparas Yakashonis a year ago.
Okay, so that's why he's at six.
What's that?
No, so that's why he's at six.
Well, Kasparas was getting the same comps, right? Through 2 games, he had similar numbers, 20 and 7. People were saying, oh, he's Luka Doncic. And then by the end of the year, like the turnover problems weighed on him. And, it kind of became clear that Illinois wasn't a world beater centering everything around Kasparas. I think the same thing will happen to Neo is my point. He's off to an amazing start. He did everything he could to make sure Virginia Tech got that win the other night. The highlights are sensational. The change of pace, the hop step off the dribble stuff, the shot making. I'm super in on it. He's a pro. But I wonder if maybe this is like peak Neo in the first week of the season, similar to how Kasparas peaked very early in November and didn't exactly live up to it as the season went on. Let's get to number 5 into the top half of this list. This may be another one that surprises some folks. But at number 5 on our top freshman rankings, we have AJ Dybantsa. I'm going to let you explain this one, Cart.
Listen, this list being made, just a little peek behind the curtain here as we're going through this. AJ Dybantsa and crew were struggling with Delaware Blue Hens last night before they pulled away for a 20-point victory. And look, I think the part about this is that you watch these clips and you see everything that is tantalizing about AJ Dybantsa. The size, the athleticism, the feel for the game. He can pass better than I think people give him credit for. He rebounds well. When he wants to play defense, he can do it at an okay level. The thing is, though, is that BYU as a team has looked just a little bit disjointed, right? You really haven't seen much. The 3-point percentage isn't great for him as well. I just think that when you watch it, it just looks a little bit discombobulated, which I think kind of affects how we see AJ this year thus far. I just think he's been good. I've expected more, though.
By AJ Dybantsa standards, I think he's been fine. Average, maybe. I think by any other freshman America standards, he's been amazing. He's not shooting it well, 28% from 3. That's part of what dings him here. If you watch BYU, who was struggling with Delaware last night, they were trailing at the half. They haven't figured out their big 3 yet. Mm-hmm. And last night, Dybantsa was the third of the 3. Rob Wright had 26 and 9. Richie Saunders had 26 and 10. Like those guys were prolific. And Dybantsa was kind of just the highlight reel flashy guy. I think we have yet to see Dybantsa take over a game. Now, I do think you can argue for the sake of his team winning games, it's probably a good thing they don't need AJ to be spectacular every night. They've surrounded him with really good players and are asking less of him than a lot of schools in America would. But at the same time, until we see him dominate to the level we know he can, I think it's fair to keep him behind some names that are about to appear on this list. All eyes on him against UConn. That's their next game in AJ's hometown in Boston. My guess would be we see the most assertive version of AJ that we've seen yet in a BYU uniform. Back to the chat here. Next up is Super Mike, who says Kyan Anthony, question mark?
Listen, I think Kyan, he's I got to see it in a starting role. And also, like I sound like a broken record when I say this. It's hard to make this list, man. There are freshmen that didn't make this list that are putting up 15, 17 points a game. That's how good the class is. I just need to see a little bit more from Kyan Anthony. 1 as a starter and 2 against a better level comp.
Yeah, behind the curtain peek here. We had 16 names that were being seriously discussed to appear on this list. Kai and Anthony was one of them. Then we got to the decision where we were dropping Darren Peterson to 10. And when it became like Kai and Anthony or Darren Peterson, that's when the discussion ended. So I don't know. Say we took a wrong methodology to that. Maybe there's so many good freshmen, man. Kyan's one of them. He's been amazing. Braxton Dunn says Abdallas is great, has Giannis's agent too.
What do we do with that information?
That's a good question.
I wish I had a segue to what to do because there needs to be something done with that information.
No, see, now I just want like more Neo information. Like, has Giannis's agent like drives a Prius? Like, what else can you tell me about Neo?
So what if Neo gets drafted to the Knicks?
No comment. CIH 284 says Neo is a more athletic baby Luca. I like the comp.
Like more athletic, not as good at basketball. I probably is the baby Luca comp I would take.
Yeah, maybe. Or
Yeah.
maybe Luca is just a rich man's Neo.
If our producer pulled up those highlights again after I drank like three buzz balls, I would probably come up with that comp.
You didn't drink three buzz balls before this? The world is shocked to find this out.
Please relax.
Okay, should we get to the top four?
I'd like to.
Fourth on the list. I wonder if people could guess our top four at this point. I think it should be pretty consensus. The order may surprise people. Fourth on the list, Michael Brown Jr.
Okay, chat, boo this list. Boo, boo.
Well, Cart, you were part of making the list. We made the
Relax.
list. We made the list before Louisville, Kentucky last
How
night.
many peeks behind the curtain are you going to give people?
I'm just saying, like you're booing a methodology you were a part of, as always.
Facts.
Yeah.
But
You got your guy to four, though. This is your guy. Talk about
listen,
him.
it feels bad coming off of what he did last night because look, Michael did struggle a little bit in the exhibition games, right? Darren Peterson came into his crib, came to his trap, took over his trap, and he did not play well. But let's not get it twisted. With Donovan Mitchell front row in the first iteration of this rivalry game with Michael playing, his first time playing in it, he was the best player on the floor. He had 20 points in the first half, 29 points total. He was making Sonata Frew look like a worthy pick and roll candidate, truly. He is special. I've said crazy things about him, like, you know what? He's Kyrie Irving with more bounce. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to see it more and more, truly. When he gets hot in a hurry. He has a great offensive package. He can dribble it. I mean, he's special, man. He truly is.
Yeah, this obviously looks, I think, worse after his dominant performance against Kentucky. Um, should we have elevated him after this morning? Maybe. Also, I think the three guys at the top of this list have been amazing. Like, really. And we have at least had one data point on Michael. Yeah, it was an exhibition. But even like Louisville hasn't exactly been unbelievable. Like, they didn't cover against Jackson State. I don't know. He had 6 turnovers in a game. He's been amazing. He also hasn't been flawless. And I think there's an argument a couple guys at the top of the list have been flawless till this point. So very deserving. He's leapt Darren Peterson and AJ Dybantsa. Like that alone is quite an accomplishment. Just three pretty amazing guys ahead of him right now. Let's get to number 3 on the list. Drum roll, please. It's the winningest player in prep basketball history, Cameron Boozer.
At 3, the winner at 3, the winner getting the bronze medal, huh?
Well, Duke's been doing a lot of winning. I don't know how much you paid attention, but he's living up to that reputation.
Yeah, he is. And look, he had a tough half that first game against Texas, but even before that in the exhibition games, Cam Boozer, this is not an exaggeration. He legit is like a walking 20 and 20. And then he'll also mess around and give you 3 or 5 assists, maybe here and there. And if he's feeling a little cutesy, a little silly little moment, he'll also pitch in like 5 stocks probably or something like that. He's just the consummate winner, well-rounded, good athlete. Like he is just he really is everything. And even in those moments of the Texas game where he struggled a little bit, he came back when it was winning time. Do you want to see better percentages out of him moving forward? Yes, I think you will too, by the way. But you can't argue with what he's able to do. 18 points, almost 10 rebounds a game, 4 assists, a block, a steal. He is probably the most well-rounded, if not the most well-rounded freshman in the country.
So I think I've learned a couple things on Cam through 3 games because I felt like I knew what Cam Boozer was coming in. I feel emboldened in my belief that he would be who I take 1 in the NBA draft. You will note he's ahead of AJ Dybantsa and Darren Peterson on this list. I think he's been better than both. I think Duke is very happy to have him. And I think if you asked every coach in America, they would all take Cam Boozer if they could pick any single freshman from this class to have on their team. However, I think what I've learned about him is when he makes his threes, he's unbeatable. When he doesn't make his threes, he's a little more human. He had 25 and 8 and 5 the night where he made all his threes, 4 for 9 against Western Carolina. The other 2 games, he's had 15 points because he hasn't made his threes. On the season, he's sub 30%. Now, I don't know what he's going to shoot. I think I buy the jumper. It's good enough. It'll be in the 30s. But he does strike me as a guy that, like, you can kind of sag off him, dare him to shoot, and possibly get away with it that way. That's the only thing you can nitpick. Cart, in your life, how often, what percentage would you say you do the right thing?
Can I round up?
Sure.
10%.
That seems low, to be honest. I have yet to see Cameron Boozer make the wrong decision on the basketball court.
Yeah, we get it. He's the best freshman. It's the type of freshman you want to date your daughter. We understand, yeah.
He just doesn't do anything wrong ever, except for like miss wide open shots.
That's wrong in basketball, by the way.
That's an accident. That's not on purpose, you know?
It's an oopsie.
Just say it's an oopsie.
Dog.
Let's go to the chat. Our producer tells us that there are several boos in the chat. Young Dalt says, what have y'all thought about Malik Thomas?
I think he's been really good. That shot selection against Michigan State scared me a lot. A lot.
Yeah, I think he's been really good, is no longer a qualifier that we can use after he was really bad against Michigan State. That stinker was enough to keep him off of this list. L1C for life says, Michael is 1. Y'all tripping, in all caps.
I agree. L's up.
You would put Michael Brown 1.
No, actually, I disagree. Sorry. L halfway. I'm not going to go L down. Let's go L halfway.
I'm gonna say, you can't just agree with the chat. For the first time in 3 years of doing this with you, you actually contributed to a list. You can't claim that you had nothing to do with it.
The chat is so convincing. They really are. I love them.
Who do you love more, me or the chat?
Don't put me in that spot.
I'm putting you in the spot. You can think on that one, too. We'll come back to you at the end of the show. One more chat here. Michael Muscat says, call me crazy, but I think they are going to put Koa Peat as number 1. That's a great segue, Cart. Before we get to number 1, we have to get to number 2. And number 2 on our top 10 freshmen in college basketball is Koa Peat.
Man. I think this is worthy of this spot, Gregory. Look, I don't think it was like a little over a week ago, word to Bobby Shmurda. But that performance against that Florida front court for an 18-year-old freshman in his first game on the big stage in Vegas, by the way, with the BR team there, the BR logo on the court, it looked fine, by the way. Shout out to my good folks over there, my coworker Andy Katz. It was a truly special performance. It really was. And Koa Peat, he operates in the mid-range. He's strong. He is athletic. He defends at a high level. That game against Florida is enough to get him the number 2 on this list. And the fact of the matter is that Koa Peat kind of has a chip on his shoulder, even as like a top 10 kid. Like everyone always talks about Boozer first. Even in his own conference, they talk about Dybantsa first. They talk about Darren Peterson first. Koa Peat is currently the best freshman in the Big 12. That no one wants to admit it right now, but he is.
Yeah, honestly, I think I just disagree a little bit. You're like, he always has a chip on his shoulder. His shoulders are too big to put chips on. Like, he's too, like, built. You know what I mean? Like, they bounce right off, like any defender that tries to look at Koa Peat. Look, I think he's deserving. That Arizona win over Florida alone deserves to put him ahead of the big 3 right now. That is the single most impressive freshman performance that we have seen. The reason he is not number 1, quite frankly, he's a lot like you after 5 minutes of doing any mundane task. He's a little bored.
Oh, okay. That's like the nice shot on a 10-person list at me.
He's a tiny little bit bored. Like, against Florida, he was so aggressively engaged, like, y'all got nothing for me. Since then, against lesser competition, he's been good, quietly good. Not the best player on Arizona by any means. And I don't think you can say the same about the number one guy on the list. With that said, let's turn our attention to number one on the list. I think the best freshman in the country through 10 days of college basketball. It's North Carolina's Caleb Wilson. Your hands
Listen,
are up.
what are we supposed to do, Greg? We watched the game. We're truthful about the game. There's nothing that you can deny about this, to be honest with you. I don't even know if there are boos in the chat, but I will ignore them. I will block out the boos. I will, because Caleb Wilson is a kid who I think coming into Carolina, obviously top five, top eight recruit, depending on what service you look at. Everyone's like, oh, Hubert's not going to know how to use him. Oh, Caleb Wilson's going to be bad. He has been sensational on both ends of the floor, G. He rebounds the ball at a high level. He's got the little mid-range fade that you see here against Kansas. He's probably, if not one of the best, he's the best defensive freshman in the country. He's probably also just as total a top five defender in the country. He plays extremely hard. He has a chip on his shoulder at all times, like we like to bring up. He's calling out Jeff Goodman on his Twitter page for not putting him as high as guys like Neo. Caleb Wilson has been outstanding to start this season. It's been crazy. It's been fun to watch.
How many different guys on this list have a chip on their shoulder?
Ooh, there's 10 total, carry the two. I'd say like 3 to 4.
I think it's 9. I think everybody but Darren Peterson has a chip on their shoulder.
Oh,
Very
leave DP alone.
so Caleb is number one on this list because he looked Darren Peterson in the eyes and said, "You can't touch me." That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And Darren was good, and then Darren's team blew a lead, and then Caleb was great, and Caleb's team was up 10, and then Darren was on the bench with cramps, and then Caleb was hitting shots and turning and looking at Darren, and then Caleb was in the media room with microphones in front of him and said, "Yeah, that's personal. I don't like Darren." How are we not supposed to put that number one? Like, I didn't know any of this was coming, but it came, and I'm just in awe of this. He's unbelievable. He is every bit deserving of being on the same level the way we view him as this quote-unquote big three. He's outplayed one of the big three. I don't know if he's going to see AJ Dybantsa this year. It'd have to be in the NCAA tournament. He's going to see a guy like Michael Brown later this year. I want to see it because I think Caleb Wilson is mentally and emotionally the type of guy who can win those challenges. And you can't say that about almost anybody else in this class. He's so skilled. He impacts the game so many different ways. He had 24 points against Kansas, 22 points against Central Arkansas. Then he had a more quiet night against Radford, only 22 minutes, 14 rebounds in 22 minutes. He's got a game with 4 steals. Like, this kid can truly do it all. I think he's the best freshman North Carolina's had in 20 years. And I think, honestly, he's done something harder to do than anyone else on this list. He's made a Hubert Davis team interesting again.
Yeah. Hubert Davis team is must-see TV.
It's absolutely fascinating. Let's get to the chat and see what they think of our final order here. Azure Meteor says Koa Peat is a younger Bam out of bio.
I haven't heard that comp. I like that better than, like, I think his coach is calling him Larry Johnson. I like that better than Larry Johnson, basically.
I'll have to think on the Koa Constrictor. I don't have a good comp
That
for him,
nickname's not going to work, Greg.
Oh, it's working. It's working.
It's not.
It's working in my head, and that's all I care about. K-Man 1000 says, man, Caleb ain't been challenged, honestly. He's nice, though. Caleb Wilson, the guy that went toe-to-toe with Darren Peterson and punked him and then said it was personal after, hasn't been challenged?
Yeah, I can't agree with that one.
I mean, if you think Darren Peterson's not all that good, I guess that wasn't challenging.
Don't do it.
He might be honest.
We already put him at 10. I don't want to go too far.
One Mike 23 says Braden Burries, question mark?
That's what I'm saying. Where is he? I'm waiting for Burries to play well, to be honest with you. He didn't play well in the Vegas game, played okay in the other exhibition games, but he's a player that I think could make his way onto this list. I'm very high on him. I'm just waiting to see it.
Not expecting it based on the early start, but maybe it's just a slump. Maybe he gets back into it. He was very quiet in the Florida game. We were disappointed in that. John T. Roll Cheney says, Sean Abayev. We are big Abayev guys. He's fun.
He's very fun. He's not top 10 right now, but he's very fun.
Yeah, join us next time for our top 30 college basketball freshmen, and you will definitely see Sean Abayev, Kyan Anthony, and many of these other names. Lawson says Caleb has had the biggest impact on and off the court more than any other freshman. I like that angle. He got North Carolina to do a whiteout the other night. Seems like he has had an impact on the Tar Heel culture right away.
Yeah, he's changing their lives. It's like that meme with Bender Don's in the club. He's changing lives here. This team had to struggle through Hubert's ineptitude the past couple years with Drake Powell and Ian Jackson, and now they finally are getting their life changed.
Yeah, I'm also on to him.
What?
The other North Carolina leading shot taker just magically had a trap machine fall on him.
Oh, come. All right. That is an ill-timed accusation.
I'm on to him. C. Crumpton 18 said you two at Sleepers finally looking like geniuses. I think that's the first time that's ever been said.
Yeah. Crumpton, I appreciate you. Hit my line. I want to thank you in person and send you a hat.
I want to send you a personal thank you note, Crumpton.
Yeah, thank you.
Lunch 366 says Caleb Wilson is a young Kevin Garnett. I've seen that comp going around a little bit. Do you like that?
I like that. Also would like some lunch.
Do we got to do the NBA thing all the time? I think that's a pet peeve of mine with these freshmen.
Like what?
Like Darren's Kobe and Caleb's Garnett and Cam Boozer's Carlos Boozer. Do we have to do that for everybody?
Yeah, it's the circle of life. It's college basketball photosynthesis, Gregory. You have to do it. It's a thing.
Yeah. Amen's Kevin Durant. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap the show with this before we just kind of conclude here. Who would you take number one in the NBA draft right now?
Oh, easy. Thank you for asking too, by the way. Michael Brown.
Stop it. What?
Yes. Michael Brown Jr.
In
Come
the
on,
NBA draft over Boozer, Peterson,
Yep.
Dybantsa.
Yep, have fun with that. You know what you say about Boozer? Safe floor? Yay, does a little everything. No, give me the dude who's gonna stare the defender in his eyes and say, "Let me have this dance." Come on, Michael. Make it feel it in their back, Michael.
Why would you just take Caleb if that's what you're doing?
I'm good. He's got Hubert stench on him. I want Michael.
I didn't know I was working with Nico Harrison today, but here we are.
We are built.
I think it's Boozer until Peterson quiets the availability questions. I think
anytime you can take Wendell Carter Jr., the light skin version, number one, you just have to do it.
That's so disrespectful, my friend. We are almost done with the show. Dog. Reminder, we do this every single week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can find us on the Bleacher Report YouTube channel and in the BR app. That's Carter Elliott. I'm Greg Waddell. Thank you for watching. If you want more from us, we are at Sleepers Media, where we make roughly 450 YouTube videos a month. That's right. I counted. Previews and recaps for all big games in college basketball, Sleepers Podcast, 5 days a week, and plenty more. Go check it out. If you did not hate this, you'll probably not hate that. Carter, you can have the final word today.
I am Cade Cunningham of Sleepers Media. Greg is Danish Jenkins. Catch us next Wednesday.